coin that term, and then because they use that, I still use it up to this time. We are here because this is for our NSTP course. No? We all know that the NSTP program of UPOE is a bit different. No? We have CWTS, but under that we have different tracks. No? Unlike other maybe NSTP programs in other universities where they have face-to-face sessions, you would expect the university or, for example, that tertiary level education partnering with their extension program, and then they just have one site where all the students go through certain activities. No? That's what I tried to gather from maybe last or 2 years ago when I started teaching the CWTS. And I started to think what's a better way to do this for CWTS students of UPOE, because we all know that most of you are working. No? Who among you are working? Full-time, some of you are part-time. Who among you are full-time students? Tanya. Yan, full-time students. Those who chose to be full-time students, it's fine. No? But this course should be able to at least cater to your needs as a student, because we all know that your time is a bit precious, no? And it's hard to maybe schedule things, no? And that's why you opted to do online education, because I guess it's more convenient for you and accessible from where you are. And then, of course, another reason why we are doing this is I'd like to have sessions with students face-to-face wherein I can invite guest speakers who can do a better job, no? Of maybe influencing you to make the most out of your courses at UPOE. I say that because I've been teaching CWTS for maybe 3 school years, no? There was another professor before me, she's Professor Diliman, and then I took on the management of this course. And I realized that some students just go through the motions of satisfying course requirements. Sometimes they come to me and they ask, "Ma'am, okay naman yung service hours ko." Kahit sinabi mo na doon, yung mga basic number of hours, and then it came to a point when I started asking, "Are you just doing this for service hours? Parang bilangan na lang ba ito?" And do they choose to do that because I also need to state that there are service hours to be implemented for you to fulfill, no? And then I realized that maybe there has to be a better way to do this, no? It's not just a matter of fulfilling service hours, but for you to own that learning. And you own that learning because you start the course by deciding which track you would like to engage in, no? So there have been students from offshore, no, who have really tried their best to satisfy the course, and then they're the ones who are, outside the Philippines, and sometimes they are in situations where they are not just allowed to do service work in certain schools or institutions. For example, meron tayong estudyante from Saudi, hirap siya ng partner organization, but they have managed, no? Some students, I remember one student volunteered in an orphanage, one in a hospital. So there are so many ways to do this course, no? And unlike maybe other courses at UPOE, NSTP is more, it's really about acting out, no? What you think is UP education to you. It's really acting on and making certain choices because you need to make this course happen for you, no? Ang role ko lang for this CWTS1 is to maybe give you a bit of perspective. And I also hope that our resource person, our guest speaker for today, Mr. San Juan, will help you more or less realize in what way, no? How is NSTP related to really who we are as UP students and the goal of UP as a public service university. So anyway, I also have my own agenda for this course, and you will have yours, no? But in the end, I'm the one who just gives the grade, diba? And you're the ones who are supposed to do the work, okay? And then, even if it's NSTP, you say it's community service, it's time and effort. It more than anything. No? Some have a view that when you see do community service or volunteer service, it takes a lot of heart, it takes a lot of time and all. But really, in the first place, you have to look at it as work. Kasi ginagawa mo, it's time spent. And there's no other way to fulfill our course and the goals of this program except to really just make time and do the work. Okay? And those who cannot do that will just have to either drop out of the course or maybe earn an EXP. But I really try not to, I discourage you earning an EXP kasi we've had cases when tapos na yung service, di ba? Magkawampi ka, para saan na yung ginawa mo? Lipas na yung panahon mo, kailan na kailangan. Paano ko i-invent ko yung kailangan ko ulit gawin? So as much as possible, you have CWTS1 just to start off things for you. But for CWTS2, this is really just your time to do what is needed. And then of course, what you make out of your choices is in the end, how you will define the NCC program for yourselves. Okay? So I've oriented you about the basic goals, what it's for, the perspectives of citizenship. But I'd like something more of an intellectual discussion, and that is why I chose another person to do it. Ganun intellectual, no? But just the right amount, no? Now, why this person? His name, complete name, Jason Edward B. San Juan, no? SJ yung tawag namin sa kanya. So, basahin ko muna konti yung nilagay niya sa CV niya. But, okay, I'll explain later why again, why this person. Right now, he is Chief of Staff, Office of Maria Lourdes Acosta Alba, Congresswoman, 1st District, Bukidnon. So, isa yan sa mga bagay ng trabaho. Okay? But he has been with, he has been doing a lot of things while, even as a student of the Associate in Arts degree program. So, he was like Deputy Director of Publicus Asia Incorporated. It's a registered lobbying and political management firm. Okay? So, meron siyang mga ganyang special skills. So, sabi niya dito, has been heavily exposed to techniques and strategies of lobbying and government relations, policy studies and technical work, campaign management, etc., etc., etc. So, marami na talaga siyang skills. Kahit nung student pa siya ng AA, parang gusto ko sabihin, itong estudyante ito, pwede mag-ibigay ko na yung certificate niya. Because his education has been happening already, no? And I don't, parang he just needs maybe the certificate just so he can get into a good bachelor's degree program. And he was able to do that, no? After the AA program, he got into NCPAC, Bachelor of Arts in Public Ad, and he's newly graduate siya na. Sa wakas, yes, day nakatapos. Palakpakan naman natin. Simula ka pala. But anyway, what I find interesting really about his background is this, no? He was involved, marami na siya mga written works, kahit habang estudyante pa lang siya ng AA. But look at this lineup of extracurricular activities. Dahil isa to sa mga exciting na tinitingnan ko. Kasi diba, usually you just go to UP or go to university, and maybe I myself, I can relate with certain choices that students make. No? As a student before, no? Wala talaga sa akin yung ACADS. Yung ACADS ko, parang sige na lang yun kasi kung interested ako sa topic, okay. Kung magaling yung teacher, okay. Pero yung talagang, bakit ako pumapasok? Kasi gusto ko yung buhay ng work. Para sa akin talagang, yung 4 years na yun, it's really a playground of sorts. No? You learn a lot, you make your mistakes, you have boyfriends, you have barkada, you have girlfriends, diba? That's the time for you to do that. And then, nagmamadali ako, gusto ko talaga magtapos na kasi gusto ko magtrabaho. Yun lang sa akin yun. So, maybe for some of you, it's a different, no? It's something different. Maybe you have a different view of what the education is to you or what ACADS is to you. Pero ganun lang sa akin. It's just meant to satisfy a grade so that in the end, no, I get to do what I want to do. And that is to just be with people. So, tingnan na yung mga orgs na. Go public ad. Our Beta fraternity. Sino sa inyo ang nandito? Fratman? Meron bang Fratman sa inyo? Wala. Oh. Okay. And then, as Commissioner for Externals for UP Circle of Administrators. And then, UP Collegian, Associate Editor, 2005-2006. Senior News Correspondent, 1999-2002. News Staff, 1998-1999. So, marami na talaga siya na, no? Ang buhay talaga ng pagsusulat. Tama ba? Okay. Alam ko yun kasi, si SJ, una ko talaga siyang nakilala sa isang online forum. Okay, maybe 4 years ago, we had that UPOU community site. So parang usual forum niyo, pero it's not exactly like FB or Twitter kasi maybe because we've tried to develop connections with students, no? And it wasn't that a big a community. But that was the space for me to really get to know UPOU students, no? And si SJ isa yan sa mga support. And I'm very impressed, no? Kasi he's the type of person who will really argue intellectually. No? Ganyan siya. And then, coming from a professor, no? Di ba? Parang ako, no? He puts me in place in that sense, no? Because maybe I can be a very emotional person. I just type what I think. No? Some students also think that way, no? Hindi ko sila mag-post. But si SJ would always come into a forum and he will really make you think. No? And not only think, he will really tell you his position on certain things. And he's able to do that in a very nice way. Hindi lang nice, but in a very academic way. So I think, for me, he's a good person now to be the guest speaker. Bukod sa gusto kong bumalik sa kanya. Now, I've always wanted that, inviting students or AA graduates to come in and just share something. And I think this is a good time for us to maybe listen to his thoughts. I asked him to read the article of Dean Leonen on UP as Public Service University. And then I asked him to sort of discuss it, respond to it, and maybe add in other ideas that he has. And then I would want for him to share, his experiences as a student. And why maybe through that we can try to connect it to our NCC program and how we plan to make meaning out of this course. Okay, so without further ado, come on to my si SJ, tawag namin sa kanya. Nakita niyo kanina lumabas habang nagsasalita. Daya. Oopsies. Nakaumilaw. Relax ka muna.
Yun. Magandang hapon sa inyo lahat. Nag-join tayo, nagkasabay ako sa AA 2002.
Great yan.
Ayun. As what Papi said, yeah, I was a student here. I was in UPOU as Associate in Arts 2002 till 2009. I graduated in 2009 AA. I rested for 1 year and I transferred to Diliman. So I transferred back to Diliman. I was from Diliman first at AA, and back to Diliman, then 2010, then just graduated to Portugal in April. So actually, nung invite ako ni Papi regarding this discussion, parang okay. Nakakatakot din kasi, pati sa pag-aaral ng mga uni students, it's either nakainin ka na lang buhay or wala silang pakialam. So sana hindi gano'n. Sana hindi gano'n.
Sabi ko sana maging consistent lang sila. Sa pagiging gano'n.
So this is an NSTP class. Napay ko si Mami regarding yung mga sa NCP. Actually, yun nga, actually, yung para sa ibang mga tao, NCP is just a class na freezing through because it's a required class. And don't worry, maraming estudyante even in Diliman. NCP is just a required class that you need to satisfy or to graduate. Actually, it's a matter of students locating themselves why you have to do this and why UP is investing in its efforts and resources in having an NSTP class aside from the fact that it's required by law. That's why itong kailangan natin gawin is that bakit natin siya ginagawa. I mean, bigyan na rason kung bakit natin siya ginagawa as UP students na hindi lang siya class requirement, kundi meron siyang purpose for meron siyang purpose sa buhay natin. Ayun. Before ko itanong dyan, sino sa inyo dito yung original OPQ? Nagbuga, tapos
Meaning, we came lipat from another unit.
Yes.
We started off as a UPO student.
tapos yung iba galing Diliman or yung
Another
UP units na transfer. Yung iba naman, nag-transfer from other school outside the UP system. So one way or another, may nasa tayo baka tayo pumunta sa OpenU. Sharing session naman to. So, share ko na yung galing ako Diliman, 1998. I was BTS Tourism, 1998, sa Diliman. Tapos, 3 days after ko mag-enroll, I joined the collegian. It was, it still is the only student publication in the Philippines that publishes weekly issues. And tradition of the collegian was it's an activist paper. So after that, namulat ako sa mga issue na social issues, ganyan. Tapos there came a time na sabi ko na ayaw na mag-aral. I just like doing this. Organizing, giving politics, etc. So I just enjoy na lang ako sa buhay ko na hindi pa ako sa UP, talking to people, going to dorms, speaking, whatever. Lahat ng buhay aktivista. So nakalimutan ko na yung akats ko. So, naawal ako, then hindi ako makabalik sa Diliman. So I decided to transfer to OpenU as AA. Yan, alam pa si Joy, nasa harap namin siya ng orientation. Nosy girl. Yun. So, and I finished AA in 7 years. And, thankfully natapos siya din 7 years. Yeah, supposedly it's 2 years. But, yun tayo. So
2 years, meron na sila ng outside.
So I was, supposedly I was supposed to finish it 3 years, pero dito, EXT, complete, EXT ulit, nag-lowa, ganyan. So, halo-halo. And eventually, I was able to graduate in 2009. And, yun nga, rest ako for a year, then I transferred to acting. So, tayo din, may mga siguro ng mga storya tayo na baka tayo OpenU. And minsan nag-isip din natin na parang, bakit? Feel ba kayo na parang very alpha out of the UP system? Yung parang ba kami ng UP? Meron ba ganun feeling sa inyo? Meron ba sa inyo na gano'n? Meron ba sa inyo na nag-short cross and roll? Diliman or any other UP ECUP campus? Cross-registration.
Meron ba? Uy, wala pa nagpo-cross-reg.
Nag-cross-reg ka na. Anong UP? May required reaction pa sila? Or... So actually may ganong stigma. More often yung mga tao sa yung sa open view, meron tayong ganong stigma na sinasabi, pag open view ka, tapos nagalit ka, nasa cross-search ka sa level viewing, ang tanong sila parang, oh talaga, ito ba yan? Hindi, pero bang gano'n? Or ang pinaka-normal na, ano namin ay, so classmate ko si Sharon Toneta. Sino tayo yung kabatch namin sila Sharon, saka sila si Richard Gomez, yan. So, ano ba? Sino? Jackie Lou. Jackie Lou Blanco, maraming artista na nasa open. So yun yung first impression sa akin kaagad na magkano kami para practical class kita artista. Pero tapos after that, parang may ganong stigma na parang napifeel minsan ng mga open new students na part pa talaga tayo na UP system. So siguro yun din yung kailangan natin ilocate din natin sa rin natin as part of the UP system. So, first question, what is UP education to you? So, we decided to enroll here in OpenU, the undergrad program. So, may mga AA, may PAPS, tapos may Yes. So, first question yung ipapato ko sa inyo. Para sa inyo, what do you think is a UP education?
Kasi nag-post ako sa forum, yung mga sagot niya. Gusto mo pakita ko yung sagot niya? Pag sa mga sagot ha? Okay. Sige. Sino si Miss Tolentino? Okay. Isagpangan. Sino isagpangan? Si Johnny Alaitor, di ba? Ito yan? Opo. Sino si Winter? Okay. Kasi ito yung avatar mo. Ang avatar yung ginagawa mo. Okay. Mr. Dumayas. Mami, kasi Mr. Dumayas. Miss Magsakay. Mr. Boban. Si Mr. Boban. Mr. Dua. Mr. Mada. Okay,
So parang summary mo sa lumalabas na you're UP because you are here to fulfill a personal goal kasi UP is yung quality na information ni UP, world class, world standard, ganyan. Tapos meron doon yung critical na UP, critical of education, socially relevant, ganyan. So, next slide. So, ganun nga. Alam niyo naman yung yung monitor natin, we're scholars ng bayan, scholars of the people. And doon nag-emanate yung buong so doon nag-emanate yung buong identity natin as UP students. Pag sinabing UP student ka, scholar ka ng bayan. So, yung kagad yung tumingin mo sa lahat. Pag UP, kasi UP lang naman actually pwedeng mag-claim eh. You don't hear, well, you hear PUP students saying, we're scholar ng bayan. Pero it's not as dramatic and as parang as believable as UP students say, as per kaya ko. Merong ganong equity yung kami UP students as scholar, as scholar ng kaya. So,
yung icon na ay, dito sa baba.
slideshow.
Okay, F5. F5.
Ay, sorry. Ulit pa rin.
Just a very short I took this from Carino. He is the former dean of my college, the NCC. The University of the Philippines is a community of scholars serving an institution created by the state. So essentially, UP is a public school. It's created by law. So it was created by Act number 8070 under the Commonwealth Government in 1911. So it was essentially created to become an institution of higher learning for Filipinos na mataas yung standard. Essential feature niya. Tapos, eventually, dahil nga may features yung original UP Charter na vestiges of the American colonial they tried to the Congress passed Act number 9500, which is the new UP Charter, during the centennial year of the University in 2008. So, yun yung regalo sa atin ng Congress, passing the UP Charter, Article 9500. Essentially, define ng charter, may legal definition yung charter sa UP. So, it's a public corporation, an institution of higher learning, pero based from the historical writings of various UP presidents, collected by Dr. Carino, merong nakita 5 principle, pillars of UP education. One is university values, one is academic excellence. So malino naman yan dun sa mga tinatang ng UP education. We're here because UP promises an education that's at par with international standards. Narinig nyo palagi yan, we're the best of the best, we're the cream of the crop, we are the upper 10% of the whole educational system, we are the apex of the public educational system. So, another unique value is social justice and equality. So, then we go to see former President Cueva. Here in the university, we cannot speak of national economy without stressing the very way process or social justice. We cannot speak of social justice without looking into ourselves and testing our capacity for self-sacrifice. The university must seriously take stock of itself and ask whether its graduates are capable of virtue and sacrifice, and lead the rise of class interest and meet square the demand of social justice in UP. So, what this pertains to is yung role ng UP not only as an academic bulwark, but also yung idea na sa loob ng UP, equal lahat. Meaning, ang tanging token natin for entering and for continuing our studies here is not our wealth, our class standing, yung social demographic class natin, but our intellect. So, pag bagsak ka, maski anak ka ni Congressman ganito ganyan, bagsak ka. Kung anak ka ng farmer na mahirap, nagbenta ng kalabaw niya, hindi sort lang, nagbenta ng kalabaw niya para makapasok ka sa UP, pero sobrang talento mo, you will be rewarded. So, yun yung essential feature sa UP education. Value ng UP is it's supposed to be an equalizing force. So, yung next is, actually, kasama ko yung dalawa, university values, nationalism, public service, and social responsibility. So, you always hear this, UP as the university of the people, and according to, again, for another former UP president, si UP President Benton, let it never be forgotten that this top-supported university exists first, last, and all the time for the service of the Philippine people. Being maintained at public expense, UP owes obligations to the entire supporting constituency, not only for service of young people, but for the promotion of general welfare. Question. Magkano tuition ng UP ngayon? Per unit? per unit.
Lahat ba kayo nagpapayag ng 1,000 per unit o meron ba dito yung batch?
Pre-2006, na 300 per
Magkano
unit.
yun? Hanggang ngayon? Magkano? 300.
Yeah. So, from 350 to 1,000. So, essentially, isipin ng mga tao, wala na mataas yung tuition ng UP. So, hindi na tayo subsidize ng hindi tayo subsidize ng state. Actually, that's wrong. Because even if 1,000 per unit or 4,000 per unit like UP system, we are still subsidized by the taxpayers. We're still getting the lion's share, actually, of the whole budget of the whole tertiary education ay nasa UP pa rin. Kung babasahin niyo yung budget, ito din yung budget ng lahat ng SUCs. There are 110 SUCs or state universities and colleges in the Philippines. Almost 50% goes to UP. Yes. Kaya sa ating ibang SUC actually, pag budget hearing, nakaupo lahat ng university dyan, yung UP, naka-isolate. Kasi sila lang yung nakausap ng mga congressman. Kasi, yun nga, again, stature of UP as UP. So, we get the lion's share of the whole budget of the tertiary education system. The rest, ang third budget natin ngayon is around 7 billion pesos. The rest, nakukuha lang nila 1 billion or less than 1 billion. Pinakamataas yung 1 billion, which is for PUP. Pero, the rest, hindi lumalabas ng 1 billion pesos. So, bukod imbes dun sa issue ng higher tuition, saying na mataas yung tuition natin, for listening dito sa UP, for listening mayaman, ganyan, yung nasa brackets A, ang bracket ba A, B, C, D, same as Diliman. Yeah. So bracket A, B, yung mga nakikita ng mga 1 million above, 1,000, 1,500 per unit, tapos pababa. Regardless kung ano yung binabayaran ng tuition, everybody in UP is being subsidized by taxpayers money. So, one of the things na lagi sinasabi sa ibang scholars ng bayan is that because people are paying for our tuition. Even if you're saying, I'm paying 1,500 per unit, so I can do whatever I want. That's wrong because in the end, at the end of the day, you're still being paid for by the taxes of the fisher folks, of the farmers, of the urban poor who's trying to pay their taxes diligently. So, may ganong expectations sa atin as UP students na babayaran sila ng taxes para sa atin. So, may ganong expectations sa atin na they will get their investments worth. So, yan ang is mga bagay na values ng education. Another quote from another UP president, si former President Diliman.
Kasi pakiluman siya.
Yes. In placing UP in the service of the nation, let there be no misunderstanding of our meaning and intentions. We will not abandon our responsibility and privilege that the nation has entrusted to us since our birth, to the creator and scholar, as well as intellectual critic and conscience to society. We will always defend and complete the university as a free space of people, of all kinds of persuasions, of faith, to inquire, to criticize, and to propose alternative modes and discourses. We engage in criticism not to bring down the society that supports us, but to refine the rough edges of thought, to lead towards healing the social cancers, to study what confronts us from our national mission, to help us learn how we can succeed. So that's the institutional role of UP, to be the social code, the conscience of the academic, as an academy, as the academic, the highest, the apex of the public educational system. UP acts as the social conscience of the country. So bukod sa think tank function ng UP, it provides advisory services to government. It also serves as a social critic. And paano magagampanan ng UP yung kanyang role as a social critic? When its students, which is the biggest population of the university, we're included in the 30,000 strong, or 30 to 35,000 strong UP students all over the UP system. When the students themselves are not socially aware or socially conscious of what's happening around So, may ganung expectation sa UP, right? Sa yung estudyante niya na maging nationalist, tsaka yung social awareness. Yung last is more democratic governance and institutional autonomy. So, one of the values of UP is yung kanyang collegiality and accountability. Walang ni isang tao na decide sa loob ng UP. Lahat siya ang grupo. Peace. So, meron University Council, yun yung lahat ng mga faculty members from assistant professor and above. Meron yung Board of Regents, which is the highest policy-making body of the university. So, lahat ng decision-making sa loob ng UP is collegial and as a group, very minimal lang yung nag-decide as chancellor, yung dean, ganyan. And if they do sometimes, naging silang social pariah, regardless sa mga faculty. Institutional autonomy against encroachments by the political agency. So, under the Republic Act 9500 and as affirmed variously by various Supreme Court, UP enjoys institutional autonomy, academic freedom, and institutional autonomy against encroachments by the political agencies. And this is a very guarded privilege by UP. Lahat ng attempts, lahat ng presidente, Congress, Supreme Court, whatever, lahat ng attempts na pasukin ang UP system in terms of decision making ay hindi pinayagan ng UP. At hindi yung condemnation ng UP na inaabot ng mga politiko when they try to influence these policies. Yung time lang ni former President Gloria Arroyo, UP was planning then to issue UP as a system, as an institution. They were planning to issue a condemnation against Gloria. And Gloria tried to stop UP. But because we have institutional autonomy, and it's a very guarded trait or virtue of the university, nilabas pa rin yung UP yung kanyang position against Gloria. Kahit maraming nagkapag-usap na sa mga kinausap na yung mga regents, kinausap na yung mga faculty, tumuloy pa rin. Yeah. So, ano yung relation ng 5 pillars na yan? According to Carino, just like Carino, academic excellence requires academic freedom and democratic governance, pushes us to concern for full human development and becomes the foundation for our assumption of social responsibility and public service. So, doon papasok yun yung pillars of UP, yung university values. So, ano relevant sa atin ngayon yan? Bakit tayo kailangan makialam? Precisely because there is a social expectation to us. Because people believe that UP is this. Because people believe that when a UP student subsidized by taxpayers' money graduate, that UP student will be able to contribute in the improvement of their lives. So, yan yung unwritten role of UP students na meron tayong ganong work. Some people will call it as a right or privilege. Some people will call it as a burden. Because ayaw nila ng ganun eh. I mean, for example, sa Diliman, meron kaming rolling discussion kasi medyo amplified ako sa Diliman student issues. May mga rolling discussion na about some people from the College of Business Administration at the School of Economics. Kasi sila, normally sa kanila pumunta yung mga brackets A and B, mga 1,000 per unit. So, may discrimination kami against them. Supposedly, tawag sana sila yung mga konyo. So, ang pinupunto namin sa kanila parang hindi nyo pwede talikuran yung ano. Kasi ang isip lang na may sinasabi sila minsan na pwede na namin paglikuran yung tao bayan na nagagawin kami, meron kami trabaho, ganyan, mabay kami ng taas. Okay, sige, that's passive. The problem is, you're from UP. And siguro you'll expect that if you're from academia or from Lasal, kasi it's a private education and you pay for it. Problem is, in UP, farmer, maliit na farmer, sa kahit sa tupa, nagbabayad ng ano yan, nagbabayad ng taxes yan. Pag bibili yan, yung back, yan. Yung mga mahihirap, yung mga urban poor, mahihirap nga sila, yung mga informal centers, mahirap naman sila. Pero nagbabayad kayo ng tax, kasi bibili sila ng ano man, through the VAT, nagbabayad sila ng tax. So, everybody pays taxes, even the poor. And so, everybody contributes to your UP education. So, hindi pwede sabihin ng isang estudyante from EA, from School of Econ, or from any other unit of the university na I'm paying 1,000 per unit. So, it's my money. Okay, you pay 1,000 per unit. The problem is the full cost of your education is way beyond what you pay every year. But that's 1,000 per unit. Say 20 units sa Diliman, that's sa 18 units plus miscellaneous, so 20,000 pesos. That's only minuscule amount, that's a minuscule amount of true UP education. True UP education is what? 70, 80, 90. So, the bulk of that money, the bulk, yung kulang na 50,000, say for 150 students, still subsidized by the state, ergo by taxpayers' money. So, mahirap sabihin na, ano na yung pakialam dyan? Or gusto na kayo mag-aaral. So, merong ganung burden. You can see it as a burden, you can see it as a duty. So, there's a duty in each UP student to become socially aware. Not only aware, but socially conscious. So, according to UP as a public service university, according to Margaret, again, the first UP president, the first necessity of the university is not to graduate skilled engineers, agriculturists, or physicians, nor is it even to produce efficient scholars. First of all, it must turn out men and women, and manhood and womanhood are built upon one foundation, development of character. Tapos sabi ng former UP president, si Abueva, the university is a partner of government rather than a collaborator. It takes critical distance from its policies and mission acts, but it's never aloof. It is grateful for its share the national budget, but it keeps its autonomy. It is by nature constructively critical and exhibits of its freedom, but inspired by the moral integrity and selfless dedication of public servants. It commits itself wholeheartedly to its teaching and research, to the support of national goals and the realization of our people's aspirations. So, Plus nasabi ng lahat ng former UP presidents, nilinaw nila na meron tayong play. UP has a role to play as a social relay, as the social conscience of the country, by engaging, not necessarily collaborating with government, but engaging them critically and making sure that government stays on track. Sasabi ni Dr. Abueva na UP is not only there to criticize, but also to criticize for criticism's sake. No, the UP is there to criticize because meron tayong isip mga pinangahawakan and it's our role to criticize because we're supposed to be tayo yung intellectual capital ng bansa. Babalik ko natin na siguro parang when UP was first created, ang intention ng mga American colonizers is that there should be an institution na magiging repository ng intellectual capital ng bansa. Sila dapat yung pag-alis sa mga Amerikano, dapat yung mga Pilipino na yung magmahala sa gobyerno, sa institution sa gobyerno. And they organize or establish UP as that institution. So, ever since the UP was conceptualized, yun na yung role ng UP, to gather the best and the brightest, both intellectually, academically. Pero yun nga hindi lang siya issue ng academics, issue din siya na ano yung role natin bilang binabayaran tayo ng tao bayan. Social criticism is a special task of the university made as an act of stewardship of using one's talent for the good of the country, and as a demonstration of commitment to the nation in the spirit of chastity that which one is love. However, we can carry this to an extreme and act instead with intellectual arrogance, expecting to clear processes. Just because we come from you, sometimes it's siya. This is a shadow to which are compared in relation to academic excellence. So sometimes, naging bibig to the extreme dahil hindi ako, ganyan, galing ako, ganyan ako, hindi ako, mahigay lahat, ganyan. So, may ganung nagkakaroon ng intellectual arrogance. And lahat, marami yung students, Miriam Santiago na alam, sobrang yapang niya. Because, yun nga, di ba, kung paano siya makasisi Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago, makapanood ko yung hearing as Wednesday, di ba? Parang, I'm graduate, and every time na ginagawa niya. So, she's funny, she's amusing, ganyan, pero sometimes yung graduates have that, alacrity to say na, pakinggan niyo ako, because I'm a student, pakinggan niyo ako. So, yun yung problem, hindi arrogant tayo. And, saying this now, ito, nasa NCC tayo, C1s, ganyan. Nasabi ka rin yung mga video si Dr. Javier, yung tayo na pahinong mo. Dati kasi wala talaga, before pahinong mo, walang volunteer program ang UP. Unlike yung Ateneo, Lasal, Ateneo was, so there's some volunteer programs. Supposedly yun yung kanilang social integration programs nila, social interaction programs. So, under President Javier, they thought about a volunteer program which was called Pag-Ugnayan ng Pahinungol. Pahinungol was, it's a term, sorry. It's a local dialect for service or volunteerism. And si Dr. Carino, yung kinuha ko ng she served as the head of the Ugnayan ng Pahinungol. And ito yung attempt ng UP to instill the volunteerism. Kasi, I don't know about ONU, kasi sa mga residential programs, medyo medyo malawak yung social interaction ng mga estudyante. There is the far left, the spectrum, mga rally, from the far left of the spectrum to the far right, which are so na mag-aaral, ganyan, yung mga GC, natawag sa GC, mga brain conscious. Parang pagkatapos ng exam, tatanungin yung prof, at tanongin yung kaklase, ano sulit mo ganyan? Stop it, tapos na exam eh. Diba? Tayo na tayo. So, may ganun, GC, academic, kakayanan sa mundo, gusto na mag-aaral, ganyan. Kaya naman yung mga tao. Kasi, yun yung spectrum ng isang UP student. So, maraming gustong gawin yung UP administration na para paano natin ma-engage yung mga UP students to become volunteer, to live by the values of the university. And they organize by Diliman. Unfortunately, under UP President, yung latter part ng presidency ni Dr. Enenzo, ginagawa nila yung pahinungol. So, ginawa nila, from a system-wide process, ginawa nila college-wide. Eventually, nag-fizzle out na siya. So, ito NSTP, mga NSTP classes, it was supposed to be one of the venues to encourage students to volunteer. So, naging na siya, na siya part ng academic, kapalit ng ROTC, ganyan. Pero, yun yung hinahaluan ng UP na they want NSTP classes, C1s classes, na maging venue for UP students to express their volunteerism. And, I don't know, siguro dahil part ng changing demographics ng UP, correct me if I'm wrong, na dahil 1,000 per unit yung and kasi may sorry, I'll inject my personal opinion about this. Kasi meron akong general feeling na dahil kasi kami nabutan natin yung 300 per unit yung mga pre-2006 kasi 2006 na-approve yung increase. So lahat ng student numbers 2007 pataas. So they apektado ng increases. So kami, nabutan namin yung mga 300 per unit. Relatively medyo mura pa yun. So sa amin, nung time ng batch namin, 98, 99, yung mga ganong batches, parang feeling namin na nung time namin, may mga klase pa kami mga galing sa mga farmers yung mga magulang, mga talagang galing sa hirap. Naging rich yung discussions natin sa classes, yung experiences natin sa uni because we came from different backgrounds. And we felt na parang kapatid, anak ni ganitong congressman, nasa isang klase kasama yung anak ni farmer ganito. Similar lang yung status nila sa lahat ng professor. Wala akong pakilang si anak-anak ng senador o anak-anak ano. Basta sumasagot ka sa klase, nag-contribute ka sa klase, okay ka. So, meron kami ganung notion dati na diverse group talaga kami. Kumbaga, yung usual sinasabi sa inyo na melting pot of ideas. Kasi may ibang ideas ang galing ng mga tao. May galing sa perspective ng mga mahirap, mga farmers, mayaman, ganyan. So, parang may ganung richness of discussions. Tapos eventually, nung na-introduce na nga yung tuition increase, parang general namin is that meron ng pagbabago sa demographics ng UP. Naging urban centers, private school people, or students yung pumapasok sa UP. So, nagkakaroon na ng parang homogeneity ng pagtingin. Isa na lang yung tingin na natin, isa na lang yung appreciation natin sa isang bagay. So, hindi na siya ganun ka-diverse. So, we're hoping na sana yung mga classes like this, yung mga NSTP, yung mga volunteer services, na i-maximize ng UP and ng estudyante para may balikat yung ganung tradisyon. It's a tradition, yes. It's a tradition of UP. Kasi paano ka magiging critical minded kung hindi mo naman alam yung sitwasyon ng isang magsasaka. Ang nakita mo lang sitwasyon ay yung sitwasyon ng mga taong laging tumatambay sa Ayala Town Center in Balaga. Hindi siya yung Town Center, sa Ayala Town Center in Balaga. So, parang, kasi siya yung sa primary criticism natin against the tuition increase, meron siyang ganung effect, meron siyang unintended consequence na nagiging homogeneous yung sector ng UP students. So, nawawala yung cutting edge education na hindi lang natutulong sa loob ng classroom. Kundi natututunan din pag work yung mga estudyante, pag may mga social interactions yung mga estudyante. Nawawala na. Kasi may pare-pare na tayo mag-isip. Lahat gusto graduate, gusto graduate ng laude, lahat gusto mag-aaral lang, maging GC lang. So, yun yung realidad at least sa mga residentials. Sa OpenU, may distinct, may distinct characteristic tayo na hindi naman talaga tayo nakikita. For example, hindi talaga tayo nakikita ng madalas. Unless pare-pareho kayo ng learning center. So, kayo nakikita. Tapos tayo the rest, nag-interact tayo online. So, yun yung dati, we're trying to organize a student council in OpenU. Yun yung isa sa mga problems na nakita namin because hindi lahat na ang may priority nun ay yung kami lang, yung interested, tsaka yung nakikita-kita. The rest, dahil they're working or they have family obligations, hindi na sila nakakapunta or hindi na i-involve sa kanila. So, siguro talagang it's a recurring and continuing challenge sa OpenU administration and siguro sa mga estudyante na rin, na paano natin i-relocate yung sarili natin dun sa bigger community of the UP system. You're part of UP, we are part of the UP system. Inaw natin sa sarili natin yun. And more often we are the better UP students. Bakit? Kasi we're juggling work, family, studying. And then, ito yung napansin ko talaga, kaya napasalamat ako ng galing ako dito. Yung napansin ko nung bumalik ako ng Diliman, yung mga residensya, parang, walang disiplina sa katawan. Kasi parang, mag-aaral lang sila pag pinroad sila ng prof nila. Pero kasi tayo, supposedly, may disiplina tayo sa katawan. Kasi wala namang prof na nag-supervise sa atin eh. We study at our own pace, and if we don't study, it's our call. Kasi wala kang sagot sa exam. So, mas may bentahe pa nga tayo as PE students compared to the residentials. Sadly, dahil this is a new mode of education, of instruction, parang hindi nakakaintindihan sa sabi na parang second class citizen tayo ng UP system, which is true. And personally for me, thankful ako doon sa mga prof sa Diliman na nung nalaman nila na open nyo ako, parang gano'n. Kasi alam nila na may ganun personality sa UP na maaasahan siya na kasi may disiplina. So, yun yung continuing challenge sa atin na ilocate natin yung sarili. Paano natin malulocate yung sarili natin doon sa family of UP units. Kasi we're very integral as a unit of the university. So, with that, sana po may nasabi po ako at na-interest kayo sa mga sinabi ko.